Just start with the usual team news. Injuries, suspensions, how are you looking?
We had a little bit of a unfortunate incident in training the other day. Dave Morgan went over just as training was ending, which was frustrating. So he's struggling with his ankle. Hopefully he'll be fit for Saturday. Obviously Matt Butcher still out, Joe Pritchard still out, and Coley suspended. So, you know, but we've got lads who are chomping at the bit to play. Really impressive. You know, Luke was there yesterday. A really impressive reserve performance yesterday at Huddersfield. And you know, I've got decisions to make all over the park Saturday, which is sometimes it's a good thing. You know, you've got players who are all keen to play. You know, and someone's misfortune opens the door for somebody else to try and stake a claim for the place.
Does Sean come back into contention, Sean McConville?
Well, just have to see how he is. You know, he's been sick all week, so we'll have to see how he is, whether he's strong enough to play on Saturday.
You've been hurt in midfield this season, haven't you?
We have, yeah. You know, I've got to stop saying listen, haven't I? It's creeping into my game now. I've got to knock that out. It's one of the problems that you have to overcome as a manager. You know, you don't always have every player you want available for selection. You know, it's utopia if that happens all season, where you've got everyone available, and then you possibly have to make more decisions. You know, your job becomes harder, not easier. But I'd always sooner have more available to me than less. But there's plenty of other managers in the same boat as me. You know, so we just have to carry on with it.
When you're without Coley, what's the best way of dealing with that, John? I know you've got some young strikers on loan. Is it give them the opportunity?
Shoot from distance like we did on Tuesday. No, we've got young lads who are capable of stepping up to the mark. You know, we're not a one-man team, although sometimes I say to the lads that we are. We're not. And, you know, we proved that by scoring 4 goals the other day. You know, it's no denying Colby will be a miss because he is a top player at this level. But we've got other good players, and we definitely are not a one-man team.
I know the last time we spoke to you before the Fleetwood game, you talked about you don't think you'd win the appeal. Did you go through the whole process?
We didn't in the end, no. You know what? I've had it on good authority that 4 ex-Premier League referees have watched it and all think it's the correct decision would have been 2 yellows. But the fact that he's put his hand by the back of his neck, although it's definitely not an elbow, the chances of winning the appeal is poor. And again, you know, I've said this before. I just think the system's flawed, and something should be done to make it fairer, in my opinion, for all parties.
How do you make it fairer? If you were asked to come up with an idea.
My idea last week was that you only have a set number of appeals like you do in tennis, and if one gets proven that you were correct in your appeal, and you keep your 2. If you waste them, you lose them. And then, you know, like cricket as well. You know, I've seen cricket games lost by a captain using his appeals way too early. You know, I think even going down to England winning the Cricket World Cup, you know, I think if their captain had used their appeals better, they probably would have won it. So I think that's the fairer option, but I'm just a minnow, in my opinion.
It's an interesting argument, isn't it? It's something they could consider, isn't it?
Well, it's not people wasting them, you know, because a lot of clubs can afford the £1,000. You know, a lot of clubs, it's nothing to them, and a lot of clubs can afford to have an extra game put on for frivolous, whereas we can't. And I just think if everyone was in the same boat with a review system that, you know, you were entitled to 2 and use them wisely.
You're back in league football after a couple of games in the Cup, John. 2 very different results in the Cup, weren't they? I know you said after the game Saturday, after half an hour, if anyone thought that had finished 5-1, they'd be...
Crazy, but you know, Fleetwood started the game well on Tuesday. It's all about putting the ball in net. The morning, Dion. It's all about putting the ball in net, and it's such a big influence on the way a game proceeds. or the way a game changes by scoring or going behind. Morning, mate. It's so crucial, and thankfully we put our chances away on Tuesday. We didn't put easier chances away on Saturday. That's football, that's probably the beauty of football. The team who plays the best doesn't always win. That's why you get upset. The team who plays the best throughout the season generally wins the league, because consistently you win more games than you don't if you play well. And I don't think we've actually played great in any game this season. Possibly Charlton. I'd like to see us sustain it for 90 minutes.
Does that drive you mad as a manager when you know what this squad are capable of and it's getting there on a regular basis?
I think it drives every manager mad, but you just got to keep battling through it. If you could bottle it, you'd be a millionaire, wouldn't you? Billionaire. And there's people searching for that holy grail and spending billions in the Premier League with consistency. And I've seen Liverpool put 5 past Man United and then lose to West Ham, and that's no disrespect to West Ham, because West Ham was a top side, but people are getting carried away about what Liverpool have done, and people can easily get carried away by a good result or a bad result, and managers are getting a sack on the basis of that. It just feels as though I'm negative and I'm complaining about football. We're in an industry that we love, but it can be very, very cruel at times.
For someone who loves goals, which one did you enjoy the most on Tuesday night?
Well, Harry Pell's just walked past me, and I'd love to say Harry Pell's. But I was behind Ethan's, and it went like a tracer bullet. And as one of the lads said, it seemed to get quicker as it was going on, which you very rarely see that. But there were 2 fantastic goals, but the other 2 goals were really good goals as well. And Joe hitting the bar would have been an unbelievable goal. Ethan's beat about 4 or 5 men and slipped him in, and he's very unlucky with the shot. Probably other strikers might have gone down there and took the penalty, but he stayed on his feet well and been unlucky with his shot. But we've got to remember that was very much a second string Fleetwood side, and we're not getting carried away with that's for sure.
I know he's probably out of earshot now, Harry Pell. He's been nominated for the Player of the Month for this division. Just how well has he done for you so far?
I think he deserves to be Player of the Month. I think he's been superb. Last 6 weeks we've played him in a more advanced role. Not so much up front, but an attacking midfielder, which I think that's his best slot. But he has to realise that he has got defensive duties. And when he gets it all right, he's an handful. Great lad as well, got a great infectious personality. All the lads love him, all the staff love him. And he's one of these lads who when you see him and when you speak to him, when you interact with him, he's made for Accrington. You'd think he'd been with us 10 years, honestly. You'd think he'd been with us as long as Sean. That's probably why he's close mates with Sean as well. But, he tries to get the best out of people. He's trying to help people, the young lads. Sometimes he can maybe go a bit overboard in his criticism, but you're seeing that people care. And he's got high standards, and he's been a breath of fresh air coming in this season.
Is he someone that you've looked at for years?
Yeah, me and Jimmy have spoke about him for years. We've tried to sign him a couple of times, but it just hasn't materialised. But we've got him now, and we'll do the best with him. We'll try and make him into a better player.
This is a big game Saturday, isn't it?
Massive game, good friends with Lowey. He's done really well there. And I know they've got a lot of money to spend, but it's difficult to attract players to that part of the area, part of the country, just geographically, nothing else. Lovely place. Got a great support, and they'll come out in the droves when they're doing well, which they have done. And there must have been a fantastic atmosphere when they beat Ipswich the other day with a big crowd on. One of my good friends, Brendan Grant, his son plays for him as well, so that adds a little bit of spice as well. And Brendan comes to watch us on a regular basis. Aki being a second team, I think that we've surpassed Everton now as a second team. So that's good, and I've known Connor since he was a baby, and he's a lovely lad, very, very good footballer, but a great man as well. And I'm looking forward to the game. It's, they play good football. We've had a couple of great games with them last year, and so I'm looking forward to seeing Lowey, and I'm looking forward to seeing Connor. And I hope the game goes, I hope it goes in our favour, but I hope it's a good game.
Historically, does it bring the best out of your teams when the bigger boys come?
Well, you'd say that apart from we didn't perform against Wigan, but we've done well this season against the bigger teams, and hopefully Saturday be no different.
What are they good at, John, Plymouth? What's taken them to where they are?
They passed the ball well, they've took the chances. They've defended really well this season, which always gives you the chance. You know, if we'd have defended in terms of goals going in, like they have, we'd be near the top, because we've scored plenty of goals. But you know, I think they've only conceded about 6 or 7 this season, so in the league. So that's really good, and that gives you the platform. So if you're not, you tend to not lose a lot of games if you don't concede. And I think they've drawn a few, but I think they've only lost one, and that's down to how well they've organised themselves and how well they've defended.
Is that the area that you need to address in January?
We need to address all areas in January. We need to just improve. We're close to being a good team. I know we are, and I think the lads feel that as well. And you're always striving to be better, and we'll never stop trying to improve. And you shouldn't do till you take your last breath.